Very good evening. Welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Ashingsani Veerasinghe. Let's have a look at the headlines first. Sri Lankan rupee depreciated further against US dollar, surpassing selling rate of US dollar at 200 rupee mark for the first time. Curfew in 19 districts will be temporarily lifted tomorrow morning and reimposed tomorrow evening. News in detail. Director General of Health Services Dr. Anil Jasinghe said that as 3 more patients have tested positive for the novel coronavirus during the day, it has increased the country's infected tally to 188 by 5 p.m. this evening. Director General Jasinghe also said that all 3 positive cases identified today are the close associates of a patient from Ratnapura. According to the Epidemiology Unit of the Health Ministry, 140 coronavirus patients are currently under medical care. Out of the total number of confirmed cases in the country, 42 patients have recovered completely, while 6 persons succumbed to the virus. Over 255 individuals who are suspected to have contracted the virus are under observations at selected hospitals. Director General of Health Services Dr. Anil Jasinghe, addressing the media, said that the number of COVID-19 positive cases was reported as 188 by 5 p.m. this evening. Dr. Jasinghe added that any person who is suspicious of having infected coronavirus can dial 1390 or 1999 before seeking the admission to a nearby hospital. He also added that the hotline numbers 1390 and 1999 are free to dial from any part of the country. Further, he also informed that general public is encouraged to receive free medical consultation via My Health video app. DIG Ajit Rohana said that they still don't see the general public respecting the curfew imposed island-wide. Addressing the media at the National Operations Centre for Prevention of COVID-19, DIG Ajit Rohana said that during the last 24 hours, they have arrested over 1,800 individuals who violated the curfew regulations. He also said that it was the highest amount arrested during this period. DIG Ajit Rohana also said that over 5,000 vehicles are arrested and the highest number of violations are reported from Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa and Chilau areas. He also added that 9 individuals, including a woman, were also arrested for spreading fake news via social media. The curfew in 19 districts except Colombo, Gampaha, Kaluthara, Putlam, Kandy and Jaffna will be temporarily lifted at 6 a.m. tomorrow and will be reimposed at 4 p.m. on the same day. Then the curfew in the 19 districts will be again lifted at 6 a.m. on April 14th and reimposed at 4 p.m. on the same day. Meanwhile, the police today announced that the time period granted to use service identity card as a curfew pass for those who are engaged in essential services has been extended till April 30th. The employees of the essential services were initially granted permission to use their service identity card as a curfew pass to travel during curfew hours until April 10th. However, it was announced today that the employees of the essential services can now use the service ID cards until the end of this month. Meanwhile, issuing a statement today, Acting Inspector General of Police C.D. Vikramaratne announced that a formal mechanism has been prepared for the issuance of permits since it has been observed that a large number of people gather at police stations to obtain curfew permits. Thus, curfew permits for institutions, industries and companies employing 50 or more employees in Colombo district are issued by the police headquarters. Curfew passes for institutions, industries and companies employing 50 or more employees in Gampaha and Kaluthara districts in Western Province are issued by the Senior Deputy Inspector General's Office of the Western Province. Curfew passes for companies employing 50 or more employees in other provinces, excluding Western Province, are issued by the Senior Deputy Inspectors General Office of the respective province. Issuance of curfew permits for institutions, industries and companies with less than 10 employees in each police division and issuance of curfew permits to personal applicants upon human reasons will be issued by each police station. Meanwhile, Presidential Task Force on Essential Services announced that all pharmacies across the country will open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. tomorrow. Thus, all pharmacies, even in high-risk zones for COVID-19 where the curfew is still in force until further notice, will be open for services tomorrow. A special meeting of the party leaders of the ruling party headed by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, which took place at the Temple Trees this evening, focused on providing relief to people in the face of COVID-19 pandemic. Meanwhile, addressing the nation yesterday, Premier Mahinda Rajapaksa stressed that we as a nation can only win over the battle against coronavirus if we think collectively as human beings. Addressing the nation, Premier Mahinda Rajapaksa assured confidence on combating the COVID-19 pandemic, which has attacked the whole world. Premier Rajapaksa stressed that with government institutions closed now, 1.5 million government employees are at home, but noted that steps have already been taken to pay even the April salaries to the entire 1.5 million employees. Prime Minister Rajapaksa reiterated that Sri Lanka can only defeat this common enemy if all the citizens fight together as one nation, forgetting petty religious and other differences.
මුළු ලෝකයේම සංචාරක ව්‍යාපාර කඩා වැටිලා. ජාත්‍යන්තර ගුවන් සේවා සමාගම් වල ඉඳන් අපේ මුහුදු වෙරළේ සිප්පි කටුවටත් මේක බලපානවා. දැනටමත් ලෝකයේ වගේම අපේ රටේ සංචාරක හොටල් වල කෑම බීම ප්‍රවාහන ශේෂ්ත්‍ර ඇන හිටලා. මේ වගේ තත්ත්වයක් යටතේ තමයි අපිට මේ වසංගතයට මුහුණ දෙන්න සිද්ධ වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. නමුත් අපි නැහැ කියන්නෙත් නැහැ. ජනතාවට බැහැ කියන්නෙත් නැහැ. මේ සටන අතහරින්නෙත් නැහැ. කිසිම මොහොතක අපි දේශපාලන ජාතික ආගමික වශයෙන් හිතලා තීන්දුව ගත්තේ නැහැ. ගන්නෙත් නැහැ. සියලුම දේශපාලන පක්ෂ නායකයෝ ඉතාම උනන්දුවෙන් රජයට සහාය දෙන්න ඉදිරිපත් වුණු මොහොතක් මේ. මේ ආගමික ජාතික වශයෙන් බෙදී වෙන්වී හිතන වෙලාවක් නොවේ. අපිට මේ මොහොතේ ඉන්න පුළුවන් එක හතුරෙක් විතරයි. ඒ කොරෝනා කියන හතුරා විතරයි. අපි මොන ආගමේ වුණත් මොන ජාතියේ වුණත් මෙන්න මේ සත්‍ය අපි සියලු දෙනාම තේරුම් ගන්න ඕන. මේක ආගමකට ජාතියකට විශේෂ වමනා චාරිත්‍ර වාරිත්‍ර ඉටු කරන වෙලාවක් නොවේ. මේක රට ගැන හිතන වෙලාවක්. පොදුවේ මනුෂ්‍යයන් හැටියට හිතුවොත් විතරයි අපට මේ මිනි වලෙන් එහාට පනින්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ.
Stay tuned for more news after this short break. Welcome back after the break. The Sri Lanka rupee depreciated today, hitting a new record low against the US dollar. The central bank noted that the selling rate of the US dollar was at 200 rupees and 47 cents. The Sri Lanka rupee depreciated today, hitting a new record low against the US dollar, and it surpassed the 200 rupees. On last Monday, Sri Lanka rupee was selling at 199 rupees plus against the US dollar, and at the close of trading it stood at 199 rupees and 40 cents. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka tightened foreign exchange controls for 3 months to limit outflows as the rupee depreciated sharply against the US dollar. In a gazette published last week, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, in his capacity as the Minister of Finance, announced certain restrictions on making payments through outward investment accounts for the purpose of making investments in overseas. The gazette stated that outward investment accounts have been suspended except for investments to be made during a foreign currency loan obtained by the investor from a person residing outside Sri Lanka. Outward remittances other than those on current transactions through business foreign currency accounts of personal foreign currency accounts held by those residing in Sri Lanka have also been suspended. The Prime Minister's office also said in the Gazette that the eligible migration allowance for immigrants obtaining it for the first time has been limited to a maximum of $30,000. The repatriation of funds under the migration allowance through capital transactions rupee accounts by immigrants has also been suspended. The 40-bed hospital constructed within a period of 10 days where the former Voice of America building complex at Irunavilla, Chilau was vested with the authorities yesterday with the participation of the officials from the health sector and Sri Lanka Army. This new improvised isolation hospital to treat COVID-19 patients equipped with 40 beds is functional with robotic technology and autopilot vehicles for safety of medical staff working in the hospital, is scheduled to be manned by 14 doctors and 20 members of medical staff, where patients are to be confined to separate cubicles during therapeutic process. Sponsored by Hema's Private Limited and Atlas Company, these robots and sophisticated technical equipment through a special airlock system are capable to provide medicine, drinks and food to patients, communication with patients via robot cameras. The hospital also assures the regulation of standard air conditioned system for patients and ensure avoidance of personal contacts and cross-infections between medical staff and patients. The hospital complex also has sanitary and cooking facilities, restrooms, pantries, kitchen, etc. and is equipped with a security system. After almost 11 weeks of lockdown, the Chinese city of Wuhan, which was the origin of the novel coronavirus, lifted outbound travel restrictions today. However, the rest of the world is still severely struggling from the pandemic, given the rising number of cases and death toll. For the first time in months of lockdown, people are now allowed to leave the Chinese city of Wuhan, where the virus emerged before spreading across the world. China took the decision to isolate the Wuhan city, which includes 11 million people, on January 23rd after discerning that the virus was highly contagious. At the moment, the total coronavirus cases in China has surpassed 81,800, while the death toll is more than 3,330. Upon the lifting of the ban, roughly 65,000 people had left the city by train and plane alone, according to the local media reports. The first train carrying passengers out of the city left today morning, and outbound highways were open to traffic about the same time. However, the decision to lift the ban came despite fears of the second wave of infection, and the ruling Communist Party's flagship newspaper People's Daily warned against celebrating too soon. Meanwhile, even though the situation in China seems subsiding, the situation outside the origin of the pandemic is still severe. The US recorded the most number of coronavirus deaths in a single day, with 1,970 fatalities reported yesterday. It brings the total number of deaths in the country to more than 12,720, according to data from Johns Hopkins University. The US has more than 398,000 confirmed cases, the highest number in the world. On the other hand, coronavirus deaths in Italy surged by 604 yesterday, a lower daily toll than the 636 seen the day before, while the number of new cases posted the smallest increase since March 13th. And that's all the news for today. Once the curfew is lifted tomorrow, make sure you maintain the 1 meter distance. With that reminder, we're wrapping up for today. See you tomorrow with State of Business at the same time. Until then, take care.